Hello again, ladies. We're here for video number 12. Is that 21 or 12? Video number 12, passing and defense. So we're going to talk today about maybe the similarities and differences. Here we go. You always have to be in a logical place that you have chosen. Now, what that means is that some of us like to be closer, some of us like to be further, some of us like to be more towards the line, some of us like to be in the middle of the court. I don't care what you like. I care where you're good. Okay, I want you to be successful. So you have to look at where do I belong and why did I choose it. So let's start with passing. Passing, your job is to be able to protect the back line, and we're training you to be able to protect it with a shoulder high move. I love you. You're not very good at it right now, regardless of who you are watching this. Most of us are, again, really good inside our pizza slice, which is way down low, and it's kind of between our hips and just outside our knees. And the further up we get away from it, the worse we become. So that pizza slice, okay, is the only thing that you've got right now to effectively and consistently pass. So until you get really good at this, you can't stand like this is something you can protect the back line with. You have to actually back up and protect it with something you're good at, which is your pizza slice. Now the problem with this is, the further back we go, the easier it is to beat us with a short serve. Now, if you happen to know that somebody's going to rip a serve at you deep, go ahead and move back. Choose a logical place to protect the area you think they're going to attack. But if there's somebody back there that can do short and deep, which we're training you all to be able to do, so you are this threat to other kids, then that's a huge problem. If you're way deep protecting that back line and somebody can actually put a serve on the 10-foot line anytime they want, that's a huge problem for the passer, which is, again, why we're training you to be able to protect the back line with a shoulder high move so you can step up further into the court and still protect that back line but be closer to the short serves, whether intentional or otherwise, at the same exact time. So when you're looking at your strengths and weaknesses and what you can do with passing, choose a place that works for you. Do not accidentally, as a lot of us tend to do, end up super short or super deep. Be in a place that you have chosen because you can get both of those short and deep balls from where you are. As a side note, make sure that you are legal when you are doing this chosen logical place. In other words, if there is a person in the front row that you need to be behind that is also passing, that likes to be deep and you like to be short, you're now illegal. Even though you've both chosen a logical place, it is not logical because it's illegal. So keep that in mind. You may have to talk to the people around you and not get everything you want, but choose a logical place that is also legal. And speaking of having things in a logical place, your hands should also be in a logical place. Your body should be in a place on the court that makes sense, but your hands should be in a logical place. So for passing, I always like to start out wide so that nobody get me side to side. I already had something there to guard the ball. So I would start kind of wide. On defense, it depends on where I am. If I'm deep, I'll put my hands pretty near that pizza slice because that is where I am good too. If I'm a little bit more shallow in the court, I might go hands out wide, but all these things above my shoulders are out. I've put myself there on purpose. If I'm closer in the court still, where things head high or maybe even higher could still be in, I'll look right through the window of my fingers so that nobody can hit me in the head and intimidate me. And then fingers up, I would be ready to go down to the pizza slice if I had to, lean back and push to get the ball up and away from me, or shoot my hands out some version of side to side, whether that's up or down. Doesn't matter to me. I'm ready to go all those directions. Lean to go high, choose either way, side to side, or shoot them down to my pizza slice. Put your hands in a logical place given where you are on the court and what the hitter can do or the server can do to you. Now sometimes you won't necessarily always be able to guard the entire court. Like no team can ever guard the entire court. You can guard backline to 5-foot line on passing. You can do that. But when we're being attacked, there are places we just can't be all the time. We can choose places. This is why we have blockers go up. We then get defenders outside of those blockers, so the blockers take part of the court behind them. The defenders take the parts that the block isn't covering. And then we do our best from there. Now, having said that, you still can't get every square inch of court covered. So what you have to do sometimes is you have to make choices about where you think they might attack. So this is called being in a high probability area. You're going to want to protect the high probability areas that kids might attack on you. So in other words, if there's a kid that's like 5'4" and jumps okay, is no genius, and has never attacked a ball closer to the net than 23 feet, unless they tip, well then, if you're short, because you're worried about the tip, you're going to want to have your hands in a place that ball might actually go past to get to their normal 24 to 28 foot attack. Like, it's amazingly consistent where some kids hit, both height and location. So have your hands there. Put your body in a place that's easy to attack. If you don't have to worry about the tip, because maybe you're the cross-court digger and there's an off blocker getting the tip, then just put your pizza slice directly into the way of where they're probably going to hit the ball. Most kids will hit to an amazingly small, around 5 foot area. Go stand there, calmly wait for the ball, let somebody else take care of the tip, and you just be a genius. That's fine. Get yourself and your arms and your hands into a high probability area. If you're defending and you find that you're behind a blocker as the hit is about to happen, shoot your hands into the side you think they're going to attack and start moving your body that way. Put your body, especially your feet and arms, into high probability areas. Having said that, I know you're going to leave parts of the court unguarded. Be willing to make big moves and try to touch them. But if somebody makes an amazing hit within 2 feet of the line or within 2 feet of the back line, you know, great hit. I hope they don't do it again. I hope they attack a more probable location next time where we'll be standing. But I'm not going to worry about perfect hits. I'm going to worry about hits that are easier, that happen more often, that therefore make them a higher probability, and we will defend those and do the best we can against them. Just when you do that, when you leave areas unguarded on purpose, know that you are doing it. Again, it's okay to do things as long as you're doing them on purpose, because we can always say, oh, we have to guard that area, and then you can go, oh, okay, I'll just do that. When you don't guard areas and don't know it or don't do it on purpose, there's not much we can do to help you, because you're just out there doing stuff, and it's hard to change a kid who's just kind of doing whatever their feet or their body or their arms do. It's easy to help a kid succeed more by changing them to higher probability areas when they're doing everything on purpose because they have chosen it. So if you leave an area unguarded, it's okay. Just know that you're doing it. And you may even ask us, hey, I've been leaving. This seems to be working. Is that okay, Bill and Griff? And then we'll give you the say so or not. All right. So when we're receiving serve or an attack or a down ball from the other team, I want you guys to be anticipating. Okay, to anticipate, you have to read. Now, if you don't have a read, you don't move out of your high probability area with your hands or your feet. You stay in the middle of possibility and you wait until you know what to do. Now, when you see what's going on, for most of you, unfortunately, you're young, when you know what's happening is when the ball's already en route. For masters of the game, for older people, we can usually tell kind of before the ball goes there or maybe as the player's touching it. The more you try, the better you'll get at it. My point is, when you have your read, then you commit to something. You do not unintentionally throw your hands down prior to contact, which we've been working on practice and we call clapping. That's bad, okay? You commit to something after you've gotten your read. You're trying to get your read by looking for it and anticipating. So be watching the play and try to figure out where the ball's going before it happens. You do this by watching the player about to act on the ball. So when you're acting on a ball, you watch the ball. When somebody else is acting on the ball, you watch them. Because when I do this, you know I'm about to hit a ball this way. When I do this, you don't have to think too hard to know that I'm going to hit the ball that way. When I do this, you know I'm throwing a ball over. When I do this, you know I'm going to pass the ball to my setter. Look not at the ball, look at the player who's acting on the ball. Their body will be shaped consistently to do whatever it is they're about to do. But if you're busy watching the ball, you won't be able to read, which means your anticipation is gone, your commitment will be late, and you'll probably just clap and get beat. Okay? So work on these things by watching the player about to act on the ball. Watch the player, not the ball, unless it's you. If you're about to act on the ball, go ahead and look at it, make that ball go wherever you need it to go. So while you're defending, and this especially includes blocking, by the way, you need to be taking mental notes. So in other words, There are some kids that I've coached in the past that literally could only hit line or literally could only hit cross court. Well, I remember one girl in particular was on a fast track to being a blue chip, like top 20 pick in America when she was a freshman, until coaches figured out, oh, the only thing she can hit is amazing line. Like as soon as somebody put a body in front of her on the line, she was awful. She was awful. So the mental notes on that kid would have been, oh, what patterns does she exhibit? Oh, she hits a lot of line. So as a blocker, I would move over there since that's the only hit I've seen from her. As a defender, if my blocker doesn't move, I would stand there on the line and look at, is she hitting the whole line? Is she hitting like straight down at 10 feet all the way back to 30? Or are most of them happening right around 24, 25, 26 feet? They are. That's how everybody is. So maybe I'll just put my pizza slice in the way of that and commit to stopping her attack that keeps happening. So you take mental notes on people. Do they like the cross? Do they like the line? Do they tip every time you get a decent block that's actually, no hole in it in the way? When you take mental notes on other athletes, you find their patterns and tendencies, and you can just get in the way of those easier. It's not a guessing game anymore. It's not block somewhere or dig somewhere. It's they like these 2 or 3 spots. Let's take care of those. And if they beat us some other way, at least we've made them change. They don't get to beat us in the way that they're comfortable and practiced. They had to create new ways. So when you're playing, you take mental notes on not just, did I suck, did I fail, did I get beat, but where did I get beat? It was to my left. Oh wait, the last 4 have been to my left. Maybe I'll move over next time and see how that goes. Now you would have to remember. You would have to be keeping track. You would have to be doing things like putting your body in logical places on purpose, which again, I love you guys, most of you aren't doing, so this is asking a lot. But maybe taking mental notes will start to make sense to you. If you get beat on one side, change. See if you change your results. See if you change your level of efficiency. Take mental notes. This is one of the things that coaches are really good at because we've seen things a million times, and kids are not, because coaches just give them answers where kids hear them and they can't do anything with them. If you can learn to do this, this will free you up to be much more amazing, much more quickly. Mental notes. Maybe you could work on those in practice tonight. See you guys there.